President of the General Assembly, distinguished heads of state and government, Secretary General, Excellencies a Coirte Ilog. We find ourselves in the gravest of circumstances to which it is not sufficient nor morally acceptable that we offer any passivity in the face of what are existential challenges. The task we have been given by Secretary General Guterres is to bring into being a United Nations and related institutions that will lead us through what are undeniable, urgent, interacting crises, political, social, economic, and most importantly, ecological. That urgency requires that what we say must have such authenticity by matching words to actions as will begin to recover and facilitate trust. To achieve this, we can draw on what were our better promising moments of achieving trust, such as in 2015, when we agreed to cooperate in recognizing and responding to the consequences of climate change and the promise of sustainable living. Those agreements released an intergenerational feeling of hope among the people of nation-states that we were willing to change our assumptions as to how we saw the connection between society, economy, and ecology. We are challenged, however, by the fact that our delivery on commitments made on sustainable development and climate change have been so much less than what was committed. We too are living through a pervasive and deepening inequality that scars our world. Never have so many had so little, and so few accumulated so much without responsibility. What we are wrestling with are the consequences of a globalization from above, led by the powerful without transparency, without consideration as to social justice or to ecological consequences. As a response, it is my strong belief that a new inclusive globalization from below can achieve a new invigorated United Nations that will, starting with food sufficiency and led by those on the ground, accompanied by and delivering universal basic services which will enhance democracy, improve participation, and give the transformative leadership we need. In envisaging a United Nations of the future, a United Nations that can serve the peoples of the planet, we must have the courage to look at not only its current weaknesses, but at those abuses of power that have consciously undermined the United Nations since its foundation in 1945. The failure to achieve peace, eliminate acute global poverty, hunger, or the consequences of climate change and biodiversity loss have been accompanied by a return to an arms race. Last year, global military expenditure increased by 6.8% to $2.44 billion, the highest ever recorded. Achieving food security and economy of sufficiency, the delivery of the Sustainable Development Goals, urgency requires, of course, debt sustainability. We cannot continue to ignore the debt burden hanging around the necks of the world's poorest, who have such little fiscal space to do the things being suggested to them, be it in responding to climate change or achieving sustainability. 3.2 billion people, let us remember, live in countries that spend more on debt interest payments than on the essential basic services of education or health. We need to give our fullest support then to campaigns that seek to eliminate hunger and poverty. In the interest of all, the few must indicate their willingness to change if we are to avoid the horrific consequences of climate change, lose prospects for sustainability, and effectively prevent the conclusion that as a species we have failed to achieve peace, have instead become addicted to war, have rewarded investors in instruments of debt rather than promoting sustainability. We can achieve the change that is necessary.
I thank the President of Ireland